What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we're going to talk about Robert Williams, the center that's only 6'8", playing for them. I made a video about him a couple years ago, talking about him possibly being the franchise center for the Boston Celtics in the future because he was so raw and he had a lot of development to do. And I knew that when he was coming in. I knew that when he was drafted that he was going to be a project. He's going to be a work in progress. And I knew that Brad Stevens is a guy that demands a lot and has a lot of respect around the league. And he already has one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, that he was going to be hard on him, but also utilize him when he's actually ready to influence winning basketball, which he's still getting there, but he has shown a lot of growth and a lot of improvement, and he even got to start in playoff games, which is very impressive considering that they're going against a team like Toronto, and he does still foul a lot. He does still goaltend a lot, but he still is a guy that's active. That's the best part about Robert Williams, is that the guy can cover a lot of space in a small amount of time. He can set screens and roll very quick. He's still missing the touch. Not the greatest free throw shooter, not a mid-range scorer, can't space the floor, not the greatest hands when it comes to catching and finishing at the top, not the lob. But he is a guy that is very, very young, and he still does have a lot of upside. And I'm just interested in seeing how they're going to choose to use him, because this is a guy that's 22 years old, and he's about to get ready to be even older as we get closer to October. He'll be 23, but he hasn't really made a niche or carved out a specific role that he can really be dependable on at high state games and be on the court in the fourth quarter when it's time to close the bigger games. And you have Tice, you do have Ennis Cantor, but I don't think those guys are long-term solutions for the Boston Celtics when it comes to the future of having Kemba, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. And we'll see what happens with Gordon Hayward, but it's most likely they're going to keep Marcus Smart too. And if that's the case, that's a defensive bunch that can really communicate, cover a lot of space, stay in front of guys, and they can punish a lot of teams for going small. But the question is, should they really rely on Robert Williams, or should they replace him with somebody else? And the thing about, before people go crazy, the thing about Robert Williams is it's not really that difficult to find a good, solid starting center in the NBA. I mean, they found Daniel Tyson. He's really not making anything on his contract, and he came out of nowhere and became a respectable guy. Most of it is because of the system and his ability to know where to be at on the court, and the ability to play well off others and just be able to finish whatever he's specifically at on the court, finish it with a jumper, finish it with a three, or roll to the basket, or hit the mid range. So I think if they can make Tice become an impactful center, I think that they can do the same with Robert Williams. The question for Robert Williams is how long it is going to take him to develop the skills and the IQ that is necessary for him to be a starting elite, or at least a good solid center that isn't going to put you in awkward situations, isn't going to bail out the defense with fouls, but also be a bonus on offense on a consistent basis. Because Tice may not be the greatest rim protector, he might not be the quickest guy, but he does everything the Celtics currently need him to do with this roster, and he basically is the fifth best player in the starting lineup, but not even the fifth best player on this team. So that's something that I want to see. They already picked up Ennis Cantor also for basically nothing. So they can always find a young center that a team gave up on, or a team is not, going to draft in the draft. And you can basically, like we've seen with Robert Williams, pick him up in the mid to second round and develop him and teach him the basics and the fundamentals that you need a center to do. And he can be a little bit more taller and might have a little bit more touch, just like Tice was when they picked him up. So I'm interested to see what the Celtics are going to do. I always felt that they had an elite level center defensively, that they would be a legitimate contender now that they got Jaylen Brown locked up, and the fact that they can lock up Jason Tatum long term, two in the next 2 years, and then you already got Kemba signed for 3 more, I believe. So and you already signed Marcus Smart, and it looks like he loves being in Boston, and he has been a big pivotal piece for them. And you can lose Gordon Hayward, but in 2 years his contract will be basically something that's tradable because it'd be aspiring. And even if it doesn't get traded, you can at least let him go and use that cap on somebody else. And you might not have to pay a center 20, $30 million. You can pay him probably about 15 million at the highest, depending on what the center brings to the table and what role he is. But I think that's the Celtics' Achilles' heels is size. Tatum has been doing good rebounding from lately, but he still don't add that rim protection. He still doesn't add that interior force that I know people say go to Rudy Gobert. Can you play him in the playoffs? Is he worth it? Rudy Gobert looked pretty good against Jokic, especially offensively. But even though Jokic was giving him the work, there's not much you can really do to an all-star player to get him completely out of his game. Jokic still got blocked. Jokic still missed a lot of shots because of Gobert length and quickness and mobility. So you can still get a Robert Williams type of guy that's a little bit more longer and a little bit more taller with a little bit more skill, and then you in a better, more well-rounded on both ends of the court situation, making it tough on both ends. So Tice has shown that it can be done. Robert Williams has looked way better, way faster, and you can get that to playing with good teammates and playing with a great coach that is always finding ways to make his role players and the players fit correctly and putting them in the right areas where they can be successful and they can play their game. And now I just want to see how much more Robert Williams can grow. How much more can he add? Because when you 6'8", 230, you're playing, undersized even at the center position. Even though our teams like to go small, it's hard to play him because he can't shoot and he does still make a lot of mental lapses and mistakes on the court on the defensive end. So he's 23 because the season will be over when he's 23 and he'll be starting after before he's 23. So we'll see what happens with Robert. I'm interested. I'm liking the progress. I'm liking the development. I'm liking the growth, but his highest potential to me don't really scream starting center. Is seem more like a backup center. That's going to be interesting to see what they do with that. And it's also interesting as the Celtics continue to go through these years, they're going to have some cap space to give to a center. And will they fill that position or will they try to use it again on a perimeter guy like they did with Kyrie, Kemba, Hayward, and obviously Marcus Smart, Tatum, and Brown? That's what they have built their team around was wings, and that's what the NBA is dominated on now. But you also do need some type of rebound and some type of strength and size, depending on what team you go against. Teams like the Jazz and teams like the Lakers really use their size and their big men a lot, and that could be a problem, like we seen with Joel Embiid, who averaged 30 against the Celtics just because they wasn't big enough and they wasn't strong enough. He was able to dominate in his own way, but it is better centers and big men than Joel Embiid in the league. And just imagine what they would do against guys like Tyson, Robert Williams, and even Enes Kanter, who has been known for not being a great defender. Even though he has become solid on certain teams, he still isn't elite or even great at this point of his career, and it looks like he never will be. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you see franchise center in Robert Williams? Do you see him as a starting five center, but not, one of the best players on the team? Do you see him as a role player, just a bench guy, the eighth or the ninth man on a good team or a championship team? Or do you think that we sleeping on him? He has another 3-4 years and he's going to be one of the top 10 centers in the NBA. Whatever you think about Robert Williams, let me know in the comment section below. Also, check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Thanks for everybody that likes on Facebook. Not only that, if you're new to the channel, like this video and share. The more you like, the more you share, the more people that it reaches, the more people that it reaches, the more this channel can grow, and it's been doing pretty good so far, so I want that to continue. Not only that, I have over 1,000 videos on my channel, and I try to make an NBA video each and every day. So if you like a lot of NBA, you like a lot of variety and topics, and you like breakdowns of rookies, legends, players, and even summer league breakdowns and draft coverage, free agency, trade deadline, top 10 lists, even playoff predictions and more, then this is the channel for you, and you should subscribe and become part of the family. Other than that, Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, I'm gone. Let me know what you think about Robert Williams. Let me know what you think about the Celtics. Let me know what you think they should do. And other than that, enjoy your holiday. I'll be back with another video on Monday. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, I'm gone.